Hello, real estate investors. Are you ready to talk about Module 6, how to fund the deal? This is one of the scariest items that hold people back from this industry, but it doesn't have to be. A lot of people question why somebody would fund a deal for them, how to find the money. It holds you back, and there's money everywhere. It's all out there. And if you have a good deal, and you already know how to find the deals, you know how to talk to realtors, give them your story, get your deals coming in, how to make your offers. If it's a deal and you have the support for it, there is the money out there. There's all different types of money out there too. And even if you have your own money, it's going to run out and you're going to need other people's money. You're going to need hard money loans. You're going to need private investors. And you have to know how to talk to them, how to speak their language, what questions to ask, and how to get involved with them and how to protect them, especially your private investors. If you're not protecting your private investors, they're not going to feel secure and they're going to go elsewhere. They want to be confident in you. So one of the big selling secrets to a lot of these guys that do other education programs, you'll hear the radio ads and they say, hey, we're going to teach you how to invest with no money out of your pocket. Well, it's just coming out of somebody else's pocket. That's the secret. They get you into a room of 300, 400, 500 people and say, look around, there's somebody in here with money in their pocket. Go network with them. There you go. And I mean, that's the big secret. It's not that big of a deal. There's other people's money out there and it's everywhere. Your friends and family are going to have money. People that have money in the stock market always gets a little shaky and people want to pull it out and put it somewhere else, but they don't know where they can put it. People with retirement accounts. You can turn retirement accounts, IRAs, 401ks into self-directed accounts, and they can invest that into your real estate deals. Even if you have a retirement account, you can invest that in there. Self-directed retirement accounts. There's companies out there that specialize in setting these up for you. It costs you a couple of $1,000s to get that set up, everything converted, and then they manage it for you, and they can help you get your money invested into real estate deals. It's amazing what's out there that so many people don't know about. The big part of it is, the secret, the other people's money. It's not just other people's money in this business. It's OPM is other people's money. OPE, other people's everything. In this business, to be successful, you're using other people's everything, their time, their ability to run out to a project, their thought process. You're going to lean on other people in the network, in the Facebook group page. You're going to ask for help. That's why we're all here together. Other people's everything. We're going to all help each other. But there's money in the group too. So if you're in the group and you have money that you can lend and you want to grow your retirement account a lot faster than the supposed 6 to 8% a year that you get in the stock market, you can invest that into somebody else's deal. You've worked hard for your money. Let your money work hard for you. And that's how I talk to my private investors. You've worked hard for your money. Let your money work hard for you. So, if you don't have money right now, you've got to start saving. Even if it's only $100 a month, that money adds up. It starts adding up so you can do your own earnest money deposits. So you can build this nest egg and you can start investing. When you can invest your own money into your own deals, you get to keep all of that profit instead of sharing it with the hard money lender or the private investors. And you want to make sure that everyone's always protected in the deal. Hard money lender is going to make sure they're protected. They're a company. That's what they do. But private investors, your family and friends, you're not just taking a duffel bag full of cash from somebody and saying, yeah, no, don't worry, we got this. It's all going to be good. Paperwork. And being part of the Missing Pieces program, we've got that paperwork covered for you. So we have property partner agreements for that cover different ways that people might invest with you. We want you to be safe. And the safer you make your investors, the more likely they are to come back and invest again with you. Now, let's talk specifically on hard money lenders. A lot of people see them as scary or just see them outright as crooks because they charge interest rates on a home loan from 10%, 12%, 14%. I've seen ones at 16 and 18%. People say, oh, there's laws against that kind of stuff. That's not the way the world really works. There are companies out there that are going to charge you a large amount of interest and a large amount of points to give you money. But it's because the money that they're giving you, they have to pay their investors. It's the way it works. So, and it's a short-term loan too. When you're dealing with a hard money lender, 6 months to 12 months is the time frame of those loans typically. So it's real quick. And the thing about a hard money lender, they're not investing in you. They're investing in the deal. They're a second set of eyes on your deal, which is great. You know, you want that. You want more opinions about the deals you're doing. So if a hard money lender says, this deal doesn't look good, I'm going to ask them why. Because if they don't think it looks good, if they don't want to invest into it, I want a reason. If my ARV is high, then they're saying that. Or maybe they just ran out of their investors' funds and they don't have anything to invest to you. Or maybe it's just because you haven't done a deal yet and they want to be a little more safe. And whatever the case is, I'm going to ask them why. Because a hard money lender is another set of eyes on your deal. Now, where do you find hard money lenders? Let's talk about that first. It's real easy. You go onto Google, type in hard money lender Minnesota or a hard money lender North Carolina. Wherever you are, whatever market you're in, go state specific to it. Because there's two different types of hard money lenders. There's the direct lender who's actually got money that they're going to lend you, whether it's their own or they've got a credit line or they have their private investors. However they got their money, they have direct access to it. But then you have these other guys called hard money brokers. Now, if they're a broker, you really don't want to work with them. They're going to be slower. They're going to be more expensive. And a lot of times, they're not even going to close on the deal. These guys also typically charge money up front too. Now, the way to tell if somebody's a hard money broker is they will typically say they lend in all 50 states. A direct hard money lender doesn't. They typically only lend in one state, or if there's one or two surrounding states where there are markets that they're familiar with and they can keep their investors safe. It's what they know. Another way to find out if they're a broker, and a broker means that they're going to take your deal and they're going to shop it around to a bunch of other people, a bunch of other actual direct lenders or private investors. And they're going to try to get a cut out of it. And, that's okay. Don't fault them for their hustle, but this hustle you don't have to pay for it because there are plenty of direct lenders out there. So another way to find out if they're a broker, they're going to have an email that's johnsmithmoney@gmail.com. If their email ends with Gmail, Yahoo, or any other generic one, if it's not a company email, they're not real. They're not going to give you money. Now, some of these companies out there that they call themselves the brokerages, they'll say, we do loans from $10,000 to $1 billion. No, they don't. It's as simple as that. If a company's out there lending $100 million on an apartment project, they're not going to do a loan for $50,000 on a single family house. It's just not in the scope of work. It's not the way that a company works. So when they say that big of range, they're a broker, not a direct lender. That it's just one of those red flags for you to stay away from those kind of people. Let's see, another way. A lot of these brokers will say, well, our rates range from 10 to 16%. That's a broker. A direct lender is going to say a tighter range within 1 or 2 points. So between 10 and 12%, or 2 to 3 points, where the broker is going to say, we 2 to 6 points. They're going to charge you as much as they possibly can. Whenever somebody gives you a range on what the cost is going to be for a hard money loan, expect to pay the highest figure that they're saying. If it's 10 to 12, budget in for 12. It's 10 to 16, they're saying 16. Good hard money rates, like really good hard money rates, is about 10% interest and 2 points. Now, if you're first starting out, you're probably going to find a lot of like 12% and 4 points. Those are good. Those are better than what I got when I first started out getting hard money loans. I was at 14 and 4 and 14 and 5 on my first couple loans. I know other guys that paid that 18% on deals. But if you're making money on these deals, it's okay. You're going to pay for the money. It's just the way this business works. It's quick funding. It makes you able to profit in this business with little money out of your pocket. Now, we wrote up a questionnaire for you that has 7 or 8 questions on it. It's underneath this video module. When you're calling these hard money lenders after you do an internet search for them, ask these questions. You're going to find out what their terms are, how fast they can close, what it takes to get the best deals. And remember, when they're giving you their quote on one of your projects, is that the best you can do? Sometimes you'll get that 3 points down to 2 points. Sorry, I don't want my computer to restart on us. And most importantly, no money up front. Brokers, lenders, no money up front. If they're asking for money up front for deal reviews, for application processing, any of that, that's BS, that's garbage. Don't pay it. I've never paid it. I never will. The only thing I've ever paid prior to them funding a deal to me was when they've required an appraisal for their paperwork, and that's going to be somewhere between $300 and $500. And that's after they've already given you approval on the loan saying, yeah, we're going to fund you, no problem. We just got to get this appraisal back for our paperwork kind of thing. So that's the only thing you should ever pay up front. So a hard money lender is not just going to give you all the money on the deal. That's not the way it works. There's 3 standard types of loans that hard money lenders do. The first one is where they lend just on the purchase price of the property. And this is typically between 65 and 100% of the purchase price. As a new investor, you're going to be on the lower end of all of these scales. So you'll be somewhere between that 65 and 80% of purchase price. Me, with my experience now, I have guys that will lend me 100% of the purchase price. But it takes experience to do that. So if you have experience, let them know, because you're going to get better terms. Now, you're going to have hard money lenders ask you, well, how much do you want? How much money do you want to borrow? I just say, I just like this, as much as you'll give me. Why not? Because the less money you have to take out of your pocket or your investors' pockets, the more deals you can do with your available funds. So that means more profit, higher returns, and that's what you're looking for. So the first way that they lend, purchase price only. Now you're going to have other lenders that do purchase price and repairs. So they might lend 60 to 80 or 80 to 100% on the purchase price, and then 70 to 100% of repairs also. Now they don't just give you all that money up front. That money is given to you in draws. So that means you still have to come out of pocket to get the rehab moving. You might have to do $10,000 in work before you can get $10,000 back on the repair money. And when you're getting repair money in draws from lenders, you have to see how they're actually calculating their loans. Because you might, in this instance where you have a purchase price and repair loan, let's say you had $150,000 loan on purchase price and $50,000 on repairs. That's $200,000. Now, some lenders out there will start charging you for that full $200,000 from day one. There's other lenders out there that are a little more honest, and they'll up the loan amount and charge interest on that. Now, it's key to remember that with hard money loans, they're almost always interest-only loans. That means you're not paying down the principal. Okay, so you want if it's repair funds, it's going to save you a little extra money if you're not paying interest on that $50,000 right off the start of the loan, because you only want it after you're pulling that money out. Now, it's just it's the way some of them calculate it, and you might have to eat that. It's going to cost you an extra few $100s on the deal probably. If that's what it takes to make it happen, make it happen. Now, the third common way that hard money lenders actually give you money, they'll give you a loan based on the ARV, on the after repair value. Now, these loans typically are the ones that give you the most amount of money. So even though they're basing it on the ARV, they're going to want you to have some skin in the game. So if you have an ARV, let's say you have a $300,000 ARV. Let's say 200,000 ARV, and they're going to give you 80% of that ARV. That's $160,000. But if your project cost is only $140,000, they're not going to give you more than the project actually costs. So they're going to give you 140 minus about 10%. They want you to have 10% skin in the game. So that's going to be $14,000 less. That's going to be a $126,000 loan. Still pretty good on a $140,000 all-in project. So it's talking to the lenders. They're going to give you a quote, and they should really be able to just give you a quote off the phone. Not all the lenders do each one of these three different variations. So it's good to have multiple lenders you can go to and get quotes from. When you're doing your due diligence on a property, after you've got to secured, your offer's been accepted, get 3 quotes from your hard money lenders. 3 different hard money lenders. Find out what they're going to give you. Some of them will give you more on a property, some less. Maybe they just did a project down the road and they're really familiar with it and feel very secure with your deal. So they're going to give you a little bit more. Maybe somebody that hasn't done one in that neighborhood ever, and they're going to be a little more cautious on it. So always get 3 quotes. And remember, it's typically the most money you can get is the best. And you can pencil them out in the calculator. The calculator, at the bottom of the calculator, there's fields in there where you can put in the points and interest and the length of the deal, and I'll calculate it all out for you. But let's give you some examples of what these, how to calculate out the points and the payments. A point simply is 1% of the loan amount. So we call them points, 1% of the loan amount. So a $140,000 loan amount, 1 point would be $1,400. And that's money that's paid to the lender upfront when the deal closes, when you purchase the property. Now, for your payment, the math is the loan amount times the interest rate divided by 12. So if your loan is a $140,000 loan and they're charging you 12% interest, then you divide by 12, and that's 12 months. That equates to $1,400 a month would be that interest-only payment. So let's get into the hard money loan based on purchase price. Again, it's typically between 65 and 100% of the purchase price. So a $200,000 purchase price with a 70% loan give you $140,000. Now that's 0.7 times 200,000 equals 140,000. You're going to need to come up with that $60,000 difference plus your closing costs. That's the points that you're paying the lender plus your normal closing costs for title and taxes, things like that. You're going to have your carrying costs for your loan, your mortgage payments, your repairs, all of that. It's a lot of money out of your pocket if you're just getting loans on purchase price. Now, if you're only wanting to do 1 or 2 flips a year and you want to keep your costs down, because as you keep your costs down, if you have lower loan amounts, you'll get more profit out of it, but you're going to have more money out of pocket. That's okay if you're just doing 1 or 2. But if you're wanting to do 10, 15, 20 flips a year, you're going to want higher loan amounts. So here's an example. The HML based on purchase price. So we're taking out the difference of the loan amount versus the purchase price. Then we're saying 30,000 repairs, take out your purchase closing cost, your points. So we're doing 4 points for the $140,000 loan. So a point is $1,400, 4 times 1,400, 5,600 points. $8,400 in payments. Did the math. Our payments were $1,400 a month. We're going 6 months. Because even if we think this deal is going to go 4 months, we're still going to plan for 6 months. If you think it's going to go 6 months, plan for 9 months. Be safe. Under promise, over deliver. Your private investors are going to love you if you do that. Then we have our carrying costs. And this deal ends up being $111,000 out of pocket to do this deal. It's a lot of money for a property when you're getting a loan on it. But if, like I said, if you're only doing 1 or 2 properties a year, That's going to be okay. If you have this money, or if you have a private investor that's got this in their IRA or something like that, it's easy. Your loan costs stay low. We're looking at points and payments of $14,000 on this over a 6-month period. So now the next one, purchase price and repairs. So we're going 70% of purchase price and 90% of repairs. So if we had a $200,000 purchase price, that's $140,000 for the loan amount, and then $30,000 in repairs, and they're giving 90% loan on that. That's going to be another $27,000. So they're going to loan you $167,000 instead of $140,000 in the last example. It's less money out of pocket on a deal like this. Your costs are more, and you have higher monthly payments, so your overall carrying costs are more, but it's less out of your pocket. So here's the example again. So we started at $167,000 loan amount. The difference from the purchase price was $60,000 because we have $200,000 from the purchase price and a loan of $140,000 on that, so that's $60,000. The repairs were $30,000. They're going to give us $27,000, so we're only coming out at the difference of $3,000 on that. Our 4 points are, a point on this loan would be $1,670, and our math on this one equates out to $1,670 a month also. So $3,000 carrying costs, $86,700 out of pocket to do this one. About $30,000 less to do this one, or $27,000 less. You can see higher loan amount, you're going to have more costs in loan. This loan is going to cost you almost $17,000. It's a few $1,000s less profit you're going to be able to make because you're having to pay it for loan costs. Now, the HML based on ARV. Typically, these are going to be at 65% of the ARV. Some guys will go up to 75%. I see other ones at 50%, but pretty standard is 65% of the ARV. Now, in this case, we're going to say the ARV of this house is $320,000. They're going to loan up to $208,000. Now, with this same numbers that we were looking at on the past ones, we had $200,000 purchase, $30,000 in repairs, $230,000. So $208,000, they might lend that whole amount. It's even less money out of your pocket when you get a higher loan amount. But again, the costs go up, and the hard money lenders always going to want skin in the game. No matter how much the 65% of ARV, they're not going to give you extra. So here's how this one pencils out. $208,000 loan, that's $22,000 difference for the purchase price and repairs. Points, interest payments go up. Look at that payment. That's a $2,080 a month payment on a $208,000 loan. On a normal house, a normal home loan that's amortized over 30 years for Joe and Jane homebuyer, that payment might be $1,100. Hard money costs more, but hard money is how you get deals done fast and how you're able to do deals. Don't begrudge them for making 12%, 10%, 14%, whatever it is. If it gets the deal done for you, if the numbers pencil out and you're making a good profit, it's what it is. So this one, we're just under $50,000 out of pocket to do this deal. That's that's more than half, or less than half of what the first just based on purchase price was, that $111,000. So, 111, 86, 49. I want to get the most amount of money I can from my hard money lenders. Typically, the more money you can get from them, the better. These 3 scenarios, but you want to run all these different scenarios on each deal to make sure that they make sense. Each deal is different. Some deals, you might only have a $5,000 repair budget, so you can go and just do a purchase price loan. Maybe they'll give you 80% of the purchase price and you're not asking for any repairs. Repairs are low, and that deal just pencils out. So, and it also depends on the amount of funding you have available. So don't get hung up on the costs. Think about your profit, because that's really what it comes down to. Is this deal profitable at the end? Are the numbers safe? If I'm making over $20,000 or more than 10% of my ARV. In this case, I'd want to make over $30,000. In this deal, if I was selling this house at $320,000 and I got the ARV loan where I was only coming out of pocket about $50,000, when you pencil that all out, it's still $36,600 in profit, in potential profit on this deal. I would do that deal. I would do that deal all day long. That return, I'm putting $50,000 in to make $36,000. It's a 73% return on your money. But that's just over 6 months. When you annualize that, 73%, 146% annualized return on your money. That's the kind of deals that you want to do. That's why it makes sense to do these deals with a hard money lender. If I was doing this deal and I was doing all the money out of my pocket, let's call it $240,000, and I was going to make $50,000 on it, let's say $250 and $50, easy math. That's a 20% return on your money. 20%? I'm doing it in my head. I don't have it in the notes. But it's significantly less. The more money out of pocket, your return goes down. The less money out of pocket, your return goes up. Now, what if you don't have that $50,000? What if you don't have that $111,000? There's plenty of people out there that do. What that $50,000 is, that $49,800 is, that's the gap. The gap between the loan and the total cost of the project. Now, you can gap fund that deal yourself, or you can find private individuals to come and gap fund that deal. Now, this is where we need to talk about the difference in position on a deal. It's the security of the deal. If you, Jane, Joe, Billy Bob, home buyer, whoever, you're going to get a loan from Bank of America. You get your home loan from them. They are in first position. They've got a loan of $200,000 on the property. And let's say you go and get a second loan from Chase. Now, Chase is in second position, or if it's a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, whoever has that next loan down the road is in second position. And some people will go third position. It gets risky the further back you go. The safest investor is the one in first position. So in this case, it would be the hard money lender who's in first position. The private investor would come in and be your gap funder, and they would be in a second position. So that means when you go and sell the property, the first position person gets the money first. They get all their money first. The second position person then gets the next chunk of money. And you, the seller, are in third position and you get whatever is left. That's the way it works. So position is key. You're going to have a lot of private individuals that won't want to be in a second position. Now, I've seen deals where people get 5, 6, 7 different private individuals all on one deal. And that gets messy. That gets scary. Who gets paid first? Who gets paid last? The paperwork's typically not there. On my deals, when I'm bringing in a private investor, there's only one of them. Safety. You have to keep your private investors safe and secure. It's risky business to have multiple lenders on one deal. And multiple private lenders are everywhere. You can find them anywhere and everywhere. I've found private investors at real estate meetups. I've found them at seminars. I've found them off of Craigslist. In fact, the first private investor, my first $1 million private investor answered an ad I placed on Craigslist. So don't tell me Craigslist doesn't work, because it does. It's pretty amazing that worked. It's kind of sketchy at first because he called me, asked a lot of questions, and then I thought, okay, he's not really going to pull the trigger. He's just probably a new guy that's wanting to get knowledge from me. I still answered his questions because there was a chance he was going to lend. So here's the ad that my $1 million investor responded to. So the first line is your title, great returns available in real estate. Seasoned investor looking for money partners. That's what I typed. Now I didn't put this ad in the Midwest. I grew up in the Midwest. I wouldn't place this ad there. The coasts have more money. I placed this ad in California and a few different markets on the East Coast. This particular investor found it in my, I think it was my Los Angeles ad placement. And it basically summed up what I was doing. I'm a successful real estate investor experienced in fixing and flipping residential real estate. I have more deals than I have money right now, so I have an opening for another money partner. I do the work, you bring in the money, secured in first position by the real estate, because that's always their first question. How am I safe in this? And we split the profits. Serious investors only. Contact me for more details. Send your full contact information and I will reply. I had other people respond to this ad. They didn't send their full contact information. If they can't follow instructions, I'm not working with them. I know it sounds pretty harsh, but that's why I put that in there. Because if they're serious, they're going to do what it says. Because I'm offering them huge, amazing returns, way better than that 6 to 8% baloney of the stock market. Who wants to do that when you can make 30, 40, 50, 70% returns on real estate? I'm telling them right away, secured in first position, because you have to make them feel warm and fuzzy. You have to put that in your ads if you're doing that. You guys can use this ad. You can use it verbatim, put it out there, get to, change the title around, try it out in different markets. And the key to placing an ad like this, you have to put a couple pictures in there. A before picture and an after picture showing what you're doing. They don't have to be your pictures, okay? We've got in the forums site portion of the website, we actually have some before and after sample pictures for you. It's great if you can have your own. We've got some for you, though. So why does the private investor want to invest with you? It's got to be better than the stock market. So the annualized return on a deal, it's going to be 20% plus. The calculator has these little notes in there for you, 10% ROI, return on investment, or return of investment, depending on your school of thought. So 10% ROI. And if we're going on 6 months, you double that for your AROI. I get a lot of investors that leave the stock market to invest with me because it's just steady, simple, easy money. They're not looking at their phone, checking their stocks every day. It's crazy. I used to do that when I was in the stock market. Every day I'm like, oh, I'm up 5,000 today. The next day, oh, I'm down 5,000. With real estate, when they're privately investing with you, that 10%, it just keeps going up. If they're investing $1 million with you, I'm going to pay that investor $100,000 at 10%. Now, if they're doing 50-50 splits with you on profit, that's huge returns. So on that same deal that we talked earlier, where it was the $49,800 to actually fund that deal, if I was doing a 50-50 split with my investor, meaning I'm doing all the work, we got a hard money loan, he's coming in with the money, I'm going to give him 50% of the profit. That's $18,000. That's a 37% return for the project, 74% annualized. Take that, stock market. You can't do that. I mean, the real estate market, with what you can do and offer people, it's a lot of times they think it's too good to be true, but it is true. It can be true, especially when we're doing deals the way we do them, safely and securely, with proof, where the numbers work. We're not doing it where we hope to make money. We're doing it because we know we're going to make money. And when we do it and we secure our investors, where we have everything in writing, we have them wire their money to the title companies or the closing agents so that they're safe and secure, it works. You have to talk them. Sometimes they're like, oh, it's too much. It can't be true. I've offered people 14% straight returns, and they're like, well, what's the catch? No catch. Just, I'm going to make more than that, so I thought it would be a good return for you. But if you don't want it, cool. Like, you want 8%? As you get more private investors, you're going to start at these 50-50 splits. That's just the way. If you don't have money, you got to offer them a lot. But hey, you know what your return is on your money? It's infinite because you're not putting any money into the deal. That's how you do these deals with no money out of your pocket. Now, you'll still have to put up earnest money, but when the private investor comes in, he can reimburse you for any of those expenses. That's the way it works. But infinite returns, think about that. It's amazing what you can do. So how do you secure your private investors? There's a few forms that you're going to want to do. I mentioned the property partner agreement. You fill this out, they sign it, and it's just saying, hey, I'm going to give you this money, and you're saying, I'm going to take this money and I'm going to flip this house. It's got some legalese in there. We've had our attorney look at it, and he's real comfortable with it. We're comfortable with it. We use it. Our private investors use it with us, and everyone gets happy. Now, again, we're not lawyers. We haven't had this pre-approved in all 50 states. If you have any questions on any documents, you should go to your lawyer. Now, just remember, lawyers get paid when they're doing stuff. So no matter how good any form is, they're going to make some changes so they can get paid more. That's what lawyers do. And we love lawyers, but that's what they do. Well, we also do a note and deed of trust. Now, our title companies will typically write these up for us. When we first started, they charged us a couple $100 for it. But now, because we're repeat investors, they just do it for free for us as a service so that we continue to use them. A note and deed of trust. This is basically the same way that Bank of America secures that mortgage on a property, same way the hard money lender is going to do it. We do it for our private investors. And it's just saying, hey, this property has a lien, meaning that it's got to get paid first when the property sells. And these are the terms associated with that they're going to get 50% of the profit, that they're going to get 30% of the profit, they're going to get 10% flat return, whatever it is, the terms are going to be in there. And then you secure your investors, you secure their peace of mind by giving them updates on the projects so that they know it's moving forward, that you're doing what you say you're going to do. Now, as I got further along in this business, I would tell private investors, I want your money, not your mind. I don't want to babysit my private investors. I don't want to have to give them warm fuzzies all the time. You still have to do it no matter how many deals you do with these guys and girls. They're going to need it every once in a while. But I don't want their mind. They're coming to me. They're coming to you because you're the expert, and you got to let them know that. Hey, you want to privately invest with me? I've got the education. I've got the knowledge. I'm going to do this right. I don't need you coming in and saying, hey, I want to paint that wall green. I think it's going to look pretty sharp. I think it's going to look like, where's your proof? Where's your, I'm not going to spend an extra day picking out the right shade of green that's going to slow down the project, and then it goes up, and then it doesn't match with the countertops, and then it just snowballs. No, we're not going to do that. That's not the way this system works. You don't paint each room a different color. You paint the inside of your house all one color. That it's tan walls or gray walls are the pretty common colors that you're going to do. It's the way it works. You don't want your private investor to come in and say, hey, I saw these light fixtures. You want to put these in the house? Nope, that's cool. We already got the lights picked out. Thanks. We'll send you pictures when it's done. I mean, you got to be kind of, let them know what's going on. Now, if you're not letting them know what's going on, they're going to sit and worry. So I know private investors that require a weekly update on the project. I know private investors that, want to do like FaceTime walkthroughs with the flipper. So they go and do this, and that's all fine. It's all at your comfort level as the flipper on what you want to do with your private investors. Now, as you get more investors, you can pick and choose. If people are more difficult, then you move on. I had unlimited money for fix and flips at 50/50s if I wanted it. But the investors were so time consuming, and they were so needy, and they were always saying, well, I had them come into my office and say, I know you didn't put those light fixtures in the house. And I was like, well, you can look at the MLS photos. You can see both of those pictures because they looked at the receipts. They printed out pictures of all the lights and everything. So basically, they came into my office and said I was stealing, even though I was under promising and over delivering on every deal I did with them. It's crazy, but they came in and tried to micromanage what I was doing, and that was the last deal we did with them. Gave them all the information they wanted because I had nothing to hide. Everything was above board, and that's how you want your investors to feel. If there's an inkling of distrust on either side of the deal, it's a bad relationship. You should get out of it. No matter if they have unlimited funds for you, it's not going to be worth it. Keep your integrity. Do things right. Protect your private investors. Give them the updates on the project. You can do a Dropbox folder where every week you get pictures of the folder of your property, put them into the folder, and it's shared with them. So they get automatic updates they get to see. I typically let my investors know when the property closed, when rehab is started, when the property is listed, when the property is under contract to sell, and then a couple days before closing, I let them know what their payoff is. So about 5 interactions is what I'm looking for in my private investors, but it doesn't always go that way. There's going to be calls sometimes, you'll have less interaction with them if you're giving them a flat return. If it's a 10% annualized return or 14% annualized return, or just a straight 10% return on their money, meaning if they gave you 100,000, you're going to pay them out 110. There's all different ways you can entice private investors to be with you. But if they're a 50-50 net profit split, they're going to need a little bit more. They're probably going to be wanting to be a little more involved. Make sure that they don't show up to the project unannounced. You're running the project. You're running the show. So they have to approve all of that with you. And the number one way to secure your private investors is to get them paid. When they get paid out and they make money with you, you want another project right away to put that money into. It's a great feeling. They oh, wow, this really happened. I didn't think it was gonna, but it really did. Oh, wait, you have another project for me? Wow, man, I made 30% on this deal. Yeah, let's do another one. So get them paid. That's the security blanket they have at night. You need hard money lenders and you need private investors. If you have your own money, it's going to run out. I really want to make sure that the hard money lenders I use, I know that they're going to come to the table when it's closing time and bring the money. So if you are part of a local meetup, ask the other investors, ask the other flippers in the room who they are using, because you want to make sure that when it comes time to close, that they're there. Because if they don't show up at the closing table, the seller could back out and you could lose your earnest money deposit. So you run the risk. So it's imperative that you do this research. You get these referrals. You talk to these hard money lenders. You interview them. I try to close a day early on all my deals so that I know that I've got everything there just in case things go long. And use the calculator. Really delve into the calculator on both for private investors, and some private investors will be very similar to a hard money lender. Well, they say, well, I want 14% and 2 points. I have a private investor that wants 3 months of payments paid up front, and that's a minimum he's going to make it. Even if I sell that house the very next day after I pay for it, after I've bought it, he's going to get 3 months of payments no matter what. I'm cool with that, because you know what? If I sell that house in one day from when I bought it and then sold it, I'm probably doing pretty good on it, so I can pay him 3 months of interest. It's not going to hurt my deal. It's not going to kill my deal. And that's what you have to realize, is that these numbers, if this swings $500 one way or another, if the deal goes month 7 and you only plan for 6, an extra $1,500 to $2,000 for a mortgage payment shouldn't kill your deal. We're not going after such a narrow profit line that it's going to kill your deal. And that's why we are so enticing to private lenders. That's why you're going to be so enticing to private lenders, because you're searching for real deals out there and you're doing it safely and secured. There's lots of pieces to the money puzzle. I encourage you to watch this video again. Go through the calculator and run your numbers on it. Really delve into all of this. Start calling the hard money lenders. I want you to have a list of 10 local hard money lenders that you've called and gone through the questionnaire with. So if you're in, if you're in the state of Washington, contact the ones in Oregon, because they probably go across state lines. If you're states that are adjoining, East Coast states, they usually go within 3, 4, 5 states. You ask them, what other states do you lend in? And you find out. And if you're doing multiple markets, you got to do this for each one of your markets. There's a lot of these pieces to the money puzzle. There really are. And you just have to believe in yourself and your deals. Speak of your deals with confidence, because you're running your numbers, you're running them safely. You know how to find the deals. You are the real estate expert. The private investors are going to want to deal with you. Who wants 6 or 8% in the stock market when they can get 30% with you? So, real estate investing, you never stop looking for money. Private money, hard money, institutional money. There's money everywhere, anywhere. A lot of people have it. People that you don't even think would have money have it. Let people know you're doing real estate investing and you're looking for investors to privately fund your deals. If you don't let them know, you're not going to get it. Good luck, guys, and I can't wait to see your successes.